In this video, we have something very important to address. The holidays are upon us, and if you're like me, you probably have at least one special photographer in your life that you want to get something for, something uncommon, something cool, something that's photography related, and you're not really sure what to do. I mean, cameras and lenses, they're cool, but they're really expensive, so maybe there's something more unique, something really neat. And so we're going to cover some things in this video today, and we are going to address the age-old question: what do you get the photographer who already has everything? One thing I want to get out of the way before we begin: this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I'm only going to make recommendations to you based on things that I think are cool and unique. And yeah, sure, some of them are art photography related, but anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, number one is going to be printing. So few photographers actually print their work, and when you have a nice image, you want to do something special with it, printing is a really cool way to go. I have a printer that I use personally. It's a printer called Hidden Light. They are in Flagstaff, Arizona, but you can work through them mail order as well. And Hidden Light is run by my dear friend Matt Beatty. I was actually out visiting Matt last week in Flagstaff working on a project that I'm going to be talking about in the next couple months or so. But we were having a good time. We were doing a lot of printing. Matt and I met a couple years back, and we became instant friends because of our mutual passion for photography, but also for teaching. Matt is an awesome teacher. If you want to go to Flagstaff or you live nearby, you can go in and he will actually show you how to make your print and involve you in the process. It's really pretty cool. Matt works in a process called platinum palladium, and platinum palladium is an alternative process. It's an old process from the 1800s. It's really cool. You make up your emulsion, you paint it on a piece of paper, it soaks into the paper, your image becomes part of the paper, and then you actually expose this in UV light, and then you give it a development cycle and a rinse cycle, and you get these amazing looking prints. The lab also does silver gelatin, and if you're really on a budget and you want some really nice black and white prints, they also do a process called piezo printing. Piezo printing. It's essentially inkjet printing, but instead of using color cartridges, it has a whole set of grayscale cartridges in there, and the prints look really awesome on that too. And if you're not into getting prints done necessarily, but you like analog photography and you shoot film, they also offer processing services that you can do via mail. They'll do things like just develop your film. They'll also do scans. They'll make you a contact sheet. You can also do them in bulk. So if you want to save some money and you want to get a big bundle of like 10 development processes, you don't have to use them all at one time. They'll just keep a punch card and you can send them in, and they'll kind of keep a tally as you go. Hidden Light are awesome. Matt is a really cool dude, and Matt also has a YouTube channel if you're interested in checking him out for more information. It's a great channel, and they cover everything with analog photography, and like a lot of how-to, a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of why things work a certain way, a lot of print processes. So I'll put links to Hidden Light, Matt's YouTube channel, and everything else I'm talking about obviously in the show description below this video. Make sure you check them out and consider getting some prints made. It's kind of fun to do. Obviously the price changes the bigger you go, but you can do some things that are very affordable and very unique and very cool. And they also do framing, so it's kind of a one-stop shop there for all of your printing needs. The second holiday gift idea here, and this is probably some shameless self-promotion, but have you ever considered workshops? Workshops are really cool, and they work great as a gift for a photographer that wants to go study with somebody, go on an experience and actually learn, shoot something very different, come back with a portfolio of work. At least that's my intention when I teach them. And I've actually announced my workshops for 2024, not all of them, but the first round here, and we got a wide variety of things we're going to offer. So some of the less expensive ones that we're going to do online. I've got 2 zine workshops that are coming up. They're going to be 4 weeks, so it'll be every Saturday we'll meet on Zoom, and we're going to essentially put together a zine. We're going to talk about choosing images. We're going to talk about layout. We're going to talk about how to design your zine, software, how to work with a printer. And actually the third week, we're going to break into smaller groups, so you'll get a little more one-on-one with me, and so that's going to be really fun. We've got a session in January and another one in April. I will link in the show description below. And there is a second workshop that I'm doing that is going to be really cool. We're going to do a thing with Ralph Gibson. So it's going to be me and Ralph. We're going to be teaching a workshop in New York City. This is going to be the second week of April. I am really excited about this. I can't wait to do it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've studied with Ralph before personally, and I can attest that he is one of the best. And you're going to come out with this with a portfolio of work. There's going to be some in-studio stuff that we've got planned. There's going to be some more outdoor, New York-y types of things. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want information on that, that link will be in the description as well. Number 3 on my my holiday gift guide, and this is one that I think is really cool, and it's something you probably haven't thought of. It's very affordable. What about books and zines? Many of you know, if you watch my channel, that I do a lot of reviewing of viewer work that is sent in. A lot of people send me stuff, and I get some really good work in, and I share those in videos twice a month, and I have a whole playlist that I will link up here if you are interested in checking those out. This is a great way. Most of them sell their zines and they sell their books. This is a great way to support your fellow photographers and the art of photography community. I think it's an awesome thing, and it's really cool to all be in this together and actually support each other with buying work. There's some really good photographers in that playlist, and you should go check a few of those out and see if there's anything you might be interested in. They make awesome gifts for people that are into photography. Gift idea number 4. What about Lightroom and Capture One presets? Every photographer uses some kind of photo editor. Most people use either Lightroom or Capture One, and I have a set of presets. It's a great way that you can support me and the channel, and it's a pretty awesome way to get some really cool editing looks. This whole project started, gosh, about 2.5 years ago now, when I actually went through and I was developing a set of profiles and presets that I could use in my own work. And the impetus for this is that I wanted to be able to get the same colors that I used to get with analog photography on certain film types like Fujifilm Provia or even Kodachrome, that it's just not in my workflow, or those films are extinct today, I'm not able to use. And so I wanted some way to get those quickly into Lightroom and Capture One, at least to the point where all I needed to do was make some small tweaks to maybe white balance or contrast, and I was done and had a look. And once I got done with these, I was really excited about them, started showing them in videos, people started asking, and I decided to make them available. So this is a very affordable gift idea. It's something that's very cool for any photographer who likes a film or analog look but happens to shoot digital, so make sure you check those out as well. All right, next up, I know I said I wasn't going to do cameras and lenses, but this is a camera that I just couldn't resist. You might remember a couple months back when I reviewed the Insta360 Go 3. This is one of my favorite things this year. This is something that's really cool for non-photographers too. It's just a really simple camera setup, and now it's available in black. So if you're not familiar with the Insta360 Go 3, allow me to explain. So there's two parts to the Insta360 Go. You've got the case, and then you also have the camera. Now the cool thing here is the camera is removable, and it is also magnetic. So I can literally stick this on anything, and this is what makes this so cool. I did some footage this year where I stuck it on my car. The cool thing is when I was at Hidden Light in Arizona last week, we actually did some stuff in the darkroom where we had a bunch of these and we were just sticking them onto things. You don't even have to have any support system like a tripod or anything. If it's magnetic, it'll just cling to it. And so it solves a lot of issues right there, which is very cool. And there are a lot of accessories for this too if you want to do more with it. But anyway, it goes into the case here, and the case acts as an additional battery recharger. The case also has, this is very cool, you can pull this up, and we've got a little monitor at the top here. So it flips up and it works when it's down too. It just depends on what angle, but if you're shooting yourself, it's very handy to have. But here's what's really cool. Check this out. So I can leave the monitor on. I can actually remove the camera, and the camera stays connected to the monitor, so I can continue to film myself or whatever it is that I'm doing. This is really cool. It's a lot of fun. You can shoot stills with this. You can just shoot 360 stills. You can do video. What's also cool is they've gotten this down so you can change the modes of how it's rendering the video. So if you don't like a real super wide angle and you want something that's more linear, you can apply the filter to it. The image stabilization in here is awesome. The other cool thing about this is you don't have to worry about cards and stuff because it just connects to your phone. It's not a 4K camera, but it does render out to 1440, so you get a high enough resolution. And I will say that of the Insta360 cameras that have come out over the last couple of years, the image quality on this one really is good. It's very usable and very awesome. And I love being able to edit in the phone. They even have an AI thing in there, so if you're not sure how to edit or what you want to do, there's everything from tutorials of how to get different angles and different effects with the camera, and then there's also an AI algorithm that will put together an edit for you, and you put music on it, and it makes a really quick way to create content for things like Instagram. Anyway, I love the Insta360 Go. I just am infatuated with this. I told you this was not sponsored. This is just a camera that I really dig. I think it makes a cool gift item because the price point isn't too high. I'll put a link in the show description, so make sure you check out the Insta360 Go 3. Next up, we're going to talk about bags, and I'm going to share with you one of my favorite bags ever made. This is from a company called Oberworth. These are not super inexpensive, but they're very much worth it when you consider the handmade quality and the leather that they use. These are actually very awesome. You know, they say the perfect camera bag, it can't be done, but I think the Oberworth is probably the closest that I've found. So this bag that I've been using, and this has been my main bag, I'm gonna zoom out so you can see it. This is the M bag. They tend to name their bag lines after Leica cameras, and so it's designed for the Leica M system, but it's a bag and it's hollow, and you can of course put any camera system in here. I've used it with my Sonys and even my Nikon cameras. Anyway, I'll show you why I love this. First of all, this one has a really cool suede material that it's made with, and what is really neat about this is it is the Hydro line, which means it is water repellent. And so I've done this. You can take a glass of water, literally pour it over the bag, and it repels all of the water, keeps your gear absolutely dry. This is awesome if you shoot outside a lot, maybe you're a street photographer, and you want something that is just going to be a little more weather resistant. Inside the bag, it's dead simple. I think this is why I like it so much. It's a good sized bag because it keeps me from carrying too much. So I wouldn't use this. I'll have another one I'll show you in a second for if I'm going to travel. But this is my main day-to-day bag for everything. It's got 2 compartments inside. Of course, the middle divider is just Velcro, so you can customize that however you want. In the front, you've got a pocket for your wallet or whatever important things, keys that you might want to carry, and it keeps me from just bringing around too much stuff. There's also a pocket in the back with a zipper. I don't know if you can see that there. If you need more space for travel, this is another Oberwerth bag that I've got that I love. It's still the messenger style. This is not the Hydro line, but it's got a really nice leather exterior to it. This is really cool because it's built to, I think it was actually built for the SL system for Leica, but you could put anything in here, and I can get much bigger cameras in here. So if I've got the Nikon Z8 or I've got one of my Sonys with me and I want to carry an extra lens, 2 big pockets in the front. I love these messenger style bags. I think they're really awesome. And this one also has a pocket in the back, big enough for notebooks, other things you might carry, and it's got a smaller leather strap on the top that's very cool. And what I like about this is sometimes if I'm just picking the bag up to move it or put it in the back seat or something and I'm not looking for the strap or whatever, this is detachable, but I like having this on here because it's just a short lift that I can pull just for quick, easy moving. One other bag that I want to show you is this little one. This is the Q bag. This is designed for the Leica Q. You could also use it with any point and shoot camera or just small items that you might want to carry around. Again, it's made with awesome leather. This one is really neat because this one has black leather with red stitching, which I think is really cool. It's kind of Leica without being too obnoxiously so. If I pull out the strap here, you've got a single compartment, but it does come with, I don't know what I did with them, but it does have the Velcro dividers in this as well. If you wanted to, they're in the front right here. Velcro divider as well, so you can organize this however you want. Again, front pocket and no rear pocket in this case, but again, it's just designed for smaller application. The other cool thing is these are leather, but they do come in different toned colors. So there are a bunch that they have to choose from, and I think these are absolutely cool. If you use a Q2, a Q3, any of the Qs, or even a Sony RX100, or anything that is just a small point and shoot type camera, these bags are really perfect for something like that. Anyway, I will put a link up to Oberwerth in the show description. I really like their products. They're really awesome. It was really cool the first time I got an order from them. You open the box, and because it's leather, it just like your house smells like a leather goods store. It's pretty amazing. And finally, we're going to end this on a somewhat lavish note, but I told you we'd address what do you get for the photographer who already has everything. I'm going to show you one of my coolest things. So a lot of people have seen this on my wrist over the last couple videos that I've done, really over the last 6 months or so, and I want to share this with you. I get asked a lot, what is that watch you were wearing? Well, this is actually the Orage Lensman 2. Orage is a really interesting company. They are based in Switzerland. Orage started out as a company that made OEM parts, like parts of the mechanical movements for other watch companies. And after a couple of years of that, they thought, well, why don't we do our own watch? And this watch came and it has a photography theme to it, and I absolutely love it. I think the design on this is one of the coolest designs I've seen on watches in years. When you look at the watch industry, it's largely based on, old school lineage and, heritage that go into watches, and a lot of watch companies have been around for years and years. They have 100 years of experience. And so it's really tough when you get into watch design to do things that are new and unique. And I think that Orage are a very interesting example because they've done something very different with this. So I have a whole video on this that you can watch, so I won't go into everything here. But what's really cool, in a nutshell, is that this design is based around the 1950s mid-century Hasselblad look. It kind of has that look when you look at it head on. The other interesting feature on this watch that makes it incredibly nerdy for photographers, but I absolutely love it, so is the bezel. So the bezel on a watch, typically back in the old days, divers would use it to time a dive, let's say, or there's decompression scales. So if you wanted to not get the bends if you were diving too deep, you knew how long you could stay at certain depths. You also see these on GMT watches, where if you want to track a second time zone. Well, Orage have done something very different with theirs. This bezel actually has a slide rule for calculating exposure, and so it's really cool. There's a set of icons on the inner ring here that indicate lighting conditions, everything from sunny to cloudy to a light bulb for ambient light or even darkness. And what you would do is you would match up your ISO setting with the light that you were in, the ambient light. Then you look on the other side and you see all of the possible f-stop and shutter speed combinations. It's actually very cool. It does work. I mean, there's enough latitude and dynamic dynamic range within cameras. I've used it. I don't really use it all the time. I would argue that it's no more useful than a diving bezel back in the day, but it's something that's just very neat from a design perspective. Other thing I want to say about this watch that I didn't say in that video before that I really like is the movement in here is exceptional, especially from a watch brand that you're probably not familiar with the name of. This is their K2 movement, and like I said, they started this company making parts for other watches, and so they know what they're doing, and this has been one of the most accurate watches that I've worn that's mechanical in, well, in ever. It's really that good. I love it. This has a GMT function on it also. It also uses a micro rotor. There's some other things about it, but I think Orage are doing some outstanding work. They had a deal for art of photography viewers where you could get the early bird pricing. I don't know if that still exists. I'll put the details below this video and you can at least try it. It's well worth the money for a watch like this. And again, it's perfect for the photographer who has absolutely everything. They probably don't have the Orage Lensman 2. So for those of you asking what is the watch you're wearing in all my B-roll and all my videos, well, now you know. Anyway, that is my gift suggestions for 2023 here. I hope some of you found that useful. If you have any of your own or anything that you think that I left out, please drop me a comment below. I thought it would be cool to do one of these without having to do just a bunch of cameras and lenses. I mean, we do so much of that during the year that I really don't think it needs reiterating during a holiday gift guide, but hopefully there's some interesting ideas in here that you can appreciate for somebody that you know. And anyway, until the next video, I will see you guys then. Later.